Hi, my name's Allie Anderson, and I am a graduate student at Trent University. I am a recipient of the Garfield Weston Fellowship for graduate students through the Wildlife Conservation Society of Canada. And I am very grateful to have received this award because it's allowed us, through our research, to obtain funds that have been used to process samples in a way that we wouldn't have been able to do out in the field at remote sites. I am working in James Bay in Ontario's northern boreal region, and my project focuses on the risks shorebirds face during migration. James Bay is the largest stopover site for shorebirds in Ontario and potentially in Canada. That's one thing we're trying to figure out. And we have thousands of shorebirds go through the site each year, a variety of species, up to 15 different shorebird species that use this site. And some birds stay for only a day, others up to 3 weeks at a time. Through this fellowship grant, we've been able to obtain solar-powered freezers in order to collect invertebrate samples for a diet analysis of what shorebirds are eating in this region. And in a remote site where we don't have electricity or running water, this has allowed us to freeze these samples and bring them back for a stable isotope analysis. We've also used the funding to obtain resources that would allow us to sort and process invertebrates in the field. So we've taken sediment samples and spun out the tiny microorganisms within those and processed those in the field using resources we've obtained through this grant. I'm very excited about this project because James Bay is very understudied, especially in relation to shorebirds. There are no papers on what shorebirds are doing, no scientific literature papers for birds in this region, for shorebirds, and the only investigation of these sites for importance was in the 1970s and 1980s, and most of that research has not been reported overall. So this is really a groundbreaking study in general, which is uncommon for this day and age to really have a brand new study. We've seen some really neat things out in the field this past year with shorebirds using different sections of coast, and we're trying to figure out whether it's a prey influence or a predation influence. We're also marking birds with avian nanotags, which are tiny VHF transmitters that allow us to track when birds are almost immediately leaving the bay, how fast they're flying out of the site, and whether they're moving between different sites along the coast instead of just sticking to one section of coast. And this will allow us to focus conservation efforts onto the resources that are important to shorebirds and to specific areas in case there is ever some sort of increased risk in that area. James Bay is experiencing changes in salinity and acidity of the water, which could be a potential risk to shorebirds. And there's also a potential for risks due to large shipping developments up through Hudson Bay in general, as well as damming of major rivers in that region. So identifying these areas that are important to shorebirds and what resources they are actually using will be really important for ensuring their persistence over time. Again, we're very grateful to have received these funds, and we're looking forward to seeing what additional 3 seasons of this work will show us regarding these really neat transhemispheric migrants that are breeding in the Arctic, stopping at our site, and then heading to South America, all in several months. Thank you again.